Welcome to Blonde Highlights. I'm your host, Kris Yo.
And I'm Kyle Hennessy.
We are so excited that you are here. We got a lot to talk about, so let's get into it. Hi!
Hi, what's going on?
Not much. I'm just hanging out, getting ready to film our podcast. How you doing?
I'm doing well. We've only had about 3 panic attacks this morning and anxiety attacks, and it's been a week.
I honestly feel like something is in the freaking air this week. Like, I feel it, and I feel like the people around me are feeling it, and now I know you're feeling it. But let's focus on the positives. Give me a highlight. What's your highlight? Let's go right in.
What's my. You know what? I will say this, okay? I feel like my highlight is that, we're doing this podcast. We're podcasters, okay?
Podcasters.
And, we didn't know what we were getting into doing this. We were not professional podcasters before this, but we have been putting in the work, okay? And we figured this all out. Like, how many times have we been like, I don't know where to go from here? Like, oh, we're done. And we're like, no, we figure it out. And we have persevered over and over and over and ever, every single obstacle. And there's been a lot of obstacles.
Oh my God.
We've hurdled that bitch.
Honestly,
okay?
I don't know how many meltdowns we've had. Like, I thought that doing a podcast is like, okay, you got an idea, I got an idea, let's plug in a mic and go. And it is not like that. There is like labor that goes into it. Hours. It's a lot, but you're right. I'm proud of us too.
Yeah. We're over here moving like large files and things. Like, what is going on? I don't know. We're like tech queens now.
We set up our own Blonde Highlights email. Like, we are corporate women. Like, I feel like I'm back in the office in my corporate days.
Yeah, corporate girlies.
Business women. Pure business women. But you know what? I think that this is just, I'm not going to make it that deep, but it should just be a reminder to anyone that if you have an idea or if there's something that you want to do, just do it. And you don't need to know everything and what's happening when you're getting started, because you'll just learn as you go. And we're still learning. Like, we still don't know what the fuck we're doing half the time, but here we are.
Yeah, literally, that's my motto in life. Is a lot of times when people are around me, they're like, I don't know how to do this. I'm like, girl, we got Google. We ain't cave women. We got Google. And I grew up in the sticks. Like, I grew up deep in the country. Like, I don't know. I just had to figure out everything along the way, and thank God we were born in the era of Google.
Yes. Oh my God. Okay, what's your low light?
Okay, my low light is, listen. Okay, she's had a stressful week. She got home from work late last night. I didn't have groceries. And so, you know what? What we did. I rolled through fast food, okay?
Yes. What'd you get?
She ran in to Taco Bell, got her a little combo, okay?
You love your Taco Bell,
and
I know.
I have some things to say. I have been on a really strict eating plan since Christmas, and I've lost a little bit of weight and working on my blood pressure and stuff like that. Anyways, but so I was just like, we're gonna treat ourselves, okay? We're gonna go get a little Taco Bell. Why not? And I want to say something. What's going on with fast food? Because why did I go in and large drink? I paid extra for a large drink. Why was it the size of a small drink? I'm like, this is America. Supersize that. Supersize that.
Yes.
Yes. What the hell? Why was it smaller? Why did it get smaller? Stop it. And now, and listen, I'm going off about this, okay? And fast food, you used to roll through and get it was cheap, you know what I mean? You went because it was cheap. Why am I spending $15-$20 on some mystery meat?
Yes.
You get it together, and you're going to make and the drink is the cheapest thing for you guys. That's the biggest profiter, and you're going to make it smaller? No, ma'am. No, ma'am. Okay, because we're not going in there at our best mindset. Okay, we are not going in there at our best. Okay, we are an emotional or something's going on that we want our fix, and just no.
Bring back the American sizing.
Bring it back.
Make America good again.
You know what I mean? Make her good.
Oh my God.
Someone clips this and we're like, make America great again. And they're like, ah. And we're talking about drink sizes at fast food.
Oh, no. You know what, though? Fast food is getting so expensive. Okay, I used to love, Subway. Okay?
Oh,
And,
yeah.
like, during the pandemic, like, that kept me together because they do a gluten-free bun. And,
Oh.
yeah, so I ate so much Subway during the pandemic. And then all of a sudden, their prices, like, peaked. Last year in September, I'll never forget, Michael and I had a sub. We were on our way to our niece's birthday party, and we stopped to get a sub. And for both of us to have a sub, it was over $50. And I was like, I am not. They don't even put love into making that sandwich. I'm not eating it. I'm so pissed. I haven't had it since. I haven't touched Subway in a year.
No. Same. They drug us in with that $5 footlong, and now it's like $50. Like, are you crazy?
Mm-hmm.
With no love in that sandwich?
No. I honestly.
That is not a happy home.
No. I genuinely feel like when there's love put into a sandwich, when somebody is passionate when making my sandwich, I feel it. From the moment it touches my mouth and it goes in through me, it's like I'm filled with love. When it's just like someone who like hates their life and just like whipping together and slopping together a freaking sandwich. And here's the thing is that this was during my pescatarian days, so I was just getting veggies. And the way that they would just like throw them all, oh my God, I'm done. I can't even think about it. It pisses me off. Make Subway good again.
Yeah, right?
Make Subway good again.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. And affordable. Because, like, when I was going through my binging era, like, Subway got real expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Trauma!
The trauma. Okay. So, I'm going to do it in reverse. I'm going to do...
Okay.
Okay. I'm going to do my low light first. Okay?
Okay, you go for it.
So my low light takes us back to the beginning of this conversation when we were saying that there is definitely something in the air. Let me tell you, my anxiety this week has been like at peak. Like I had to go for a nap the other day. I had to like put myself to sleep because I needed to turn off my brain. Because here's the thing is that this week I have been fighting so much self-doubt. I have been the biggest bully to myself. I have discredited any right, positive, good thing that I have done this week or in my life at all. And I had I don't even know where it came from, but some random pity party in my head where it was just like, just all these negative thoughts coming in and just attacking me. I was attacking myself this week. And then what I would do is in my mind, I was trying really, really hard to fight off those negative thoughts. So it would be something like, why are you even doing anything? Like, you're not even good at this. Like, you're not going to go anywhere with this. Like, what's the point? And then it was like, so that would be like my little devil coming in. And then my angel would be like, don't listen to that. You are good. There's a reason. You have purpose. So honest to God, all week, it's just been like back and forth in my head. And it led me to a point where I'm just like, I could have a panic attack. And it was like 2:00 in the afternoon. And I was just like, I'm laying down. And I slept until 3:00. And I was like, I just needed to shut my mind off. And I really hate that because I think that there's so many great things that all of us do in our lives or just even in our everyday, but we're always solely focused on the negative and the negative things that we feel. And there is nothing more intrusive, and to me, just the worst thing that I can face in my mind is self-doubt and putting myself down, because I genuinely feel like I'm like a very optimistic person and I have bright ideas, and I'm just like, who cares? Like, let's just do it. And then my self-doubt comes in, and she gets in my way, and sometimes I just can't like, I'm my own worst enemy. And I hate it. But my highlight is that I actually started listening to the Mel Robbins podcast. And honest to God, like, the one episode that I was listening to, there were so many, but I cried. And I genuinely cried because I felt like she's so right. And she was, in her episode, teaching, like, how to get through this, and not even just how to get through it, but reminding all of her listeners that there's, like, a power within us, and these days happen. And she just said all the right things to me, and I genuinely felt re-inspired. I felt like, okay, it's fine, and I just instantly calmed down. And listening to her podcast, like, if there's any other podcast that, like, I want all of you to listen to, it is that podcast, because I have genuinely and truly never felt so inspired and so at ease in my life than listening to her podcast.
Really?
I don't know if I'm drinking some, like, weird fucking Kool-Aid or something, and, like, I'm like, like, I don't know, but I genuinely was just like, oh my God, she made me see the light. And ever since...
Well, you know what? If it's making... Oh, sorry.
No,
if it's making you feel better, drink the Kool-Aid, girl.
I'm drinking all that Kool-Aid. I'm like, yes, give me fruit punch, Mel Robbins. Give me cherry, Mel Robbins. Give me all of it. It's so good. But...
I'm with the grape.
Let's not just credit the blue raspberry either.
No, but you're totally right.
Okay,
Something
you got some
has been in
juice
the
for me?
air.
Speaking of juice...
Hold on.
Sorry, I thought you were done.
I was trying to say something. I was trying to make a point. Oh my God. See the abuse?
I'm so abused.
Okay, I'm going off on a tangent. Okay, anyways, I just want to say, no, it's been crazy. You're so right. There's been something in the air. It's like the new moon. I saw something about some, like, solar flare, like, electromagnetic something. I don't know. Mm-hmm. We've been going through it. And I hope that I'm, like, the good angel on your shoulder that's like, we're all good. Everything's good.
Yes.
I don't know.
You know what? I will say this. I will say that whenever we get on the phone and, like, which is daily, to work on the podcast or to do something, that's when I'm just like, okay, everything's fine. You're definitely my good angel. If you were my devil, I'd be like, get the F away from me. Like, I can't.
Get out of here.
Yes. I don't need
There's
negative
the door.
Nancy. Yes.
Yeah, no, it's been crazy. Like, I really can't even get into it, but, like, something, like, really traumatic happened to me this week, and, like, she may have to join the witness protection plan. I don't know, but we're good. We can't talk about it because, and in, like, a month, I will bring it up. We're gonna talk about it, but
I know
we're gonna move past that right now.
I know what it is.
Yeah, well,
and it's
just literally, I may have to join the witness protection. Yeah, so
yeah, we might have to change our
but, like,
podcast name. We might have to change our podcast name to, like, Brown Full Head or something, like, totally different.
Not brunette.
We might have to name our podcast a brunette. I'm so sorry.
No.
Oh my God.
No. Okay, speak of brunettes. Okay, we gotta get into the tea. So, Hailey Bieber, Miss Hailey Baldwin Bieber, she is pregnant.
How cute is that?
I know, I'm happy for her.
I saw the funniest thing though. Someone on my Instagram posted, just like, it was like an hour after it was all released. They posted on their Instagram, and I genuinely just started dying laughing. It was Justin Bieber's, like, old cover from, like, his first album or whatever, and it was it showed that it was playing That Should Be Me, and I was, like, die laughing. I thought that was so funny. I think that's so cute, though. They're gonna have a little baby.
Oh, like, are you, like, a big Hailey fan?
No.
Or Justin fan.
Okay, so I actually have a really funny story about Justin Bieber. Um,
Yeah.
Sorry, Hailey, it involves Selena. So
Okay.
this was years ago. Like Justin still had his like Bieber haircut, and
Mm-hmm.
he was visiting his hometown Stratford, which is not too far away from where I am, like where I grew up in Bradford, Ontario. So we're in the same province.
Yeah.
He's not that far, maybe like a couple hours. And
Okay.
my little cousins, who are like my nieces, were like 3 and 4. And when I tell you, the one was obsessed with Justin Bieber, like she would cry listening to his songs. We heard that he was in Stratford, so we thought, you know what? Let's have a family day and just drive by his house. Like let's just go.
Yeah.
So we went in Stratford, and um we my aunt. Okay, so funny story. My aunt. There's only 5 years between us, so she's like my sister. Okay, so
Yeah.
we're like sisters. So she put Justin Bieber stickers over the car. Like we did it for the girls, like just to have fun with them. And we made a family road
Yeah.
trip, and we were walking down the street, and we saw Justin Bieber's mom, and she walked right past us. This was on like the main road, and went into an alley and jumped into like this big truck and like just stormed out of wherever she was going. Like it was like something was happening. And then we found Justin Bieber's house, and we got out of the car and we were looking at the house. Like we were across the street, like we weren't whatever. And
Yeah.
I guess we were like, okay, I guess like they're not coming. And there was paparazzi, and the paparazzi came up to our van, and they were like, they're coming out. Like they were like, Justin and Selena are coming out of the house. And I was like, okay. So we sat there and waited, and then the guy came back and he said, they're not going to come out right now because you're out of the car. And we were like, okay. So we all started getting into the car, and I was at the side of the van, and I wasn't fully in the car yet. And they came out, and I didn't do anything. Like they couldn't see that I wasn't in the car. Like I was behind the van. And there is a
Yeah.
paparazzi picture of Selena and Justin both giving like dirty looks over the shoulder at my whole entire family in the van. And I'm still outside, so I'm trying to like get in the van because I'm like, oh my God, I don't want them to like get pissy and like come over or whatever. But the way that there's like an actual picture, and they released the photo and then like talked about like fans being outside the house or something. I was like, oh my God, that's my family. That's me.
Get in the minivan.
I know. Oh my
Just
God.
perched up in the minivan, stalking
I mean,
celebrities.
we were blasting Baby, like driving down the street. Like, wait, looking back in hindsight, like, what the fuck? But like, whatever. It was for the kids. It was just a fun day.
I love that. Oh my God.
Yes.
Ugh. I randomly drive past Kylie Jenner's house a lot often, and like there's always paparazzi outside. There's always people outside. There's like the tour bus. It's always chaos when I go by there. But it's like a shortcut, so it's like it's not like I'm stalking. I just like shortcut through there. But speak of Hailey being pregnant, okay. Have you had the Hailey Bieber smoothie at Air One yet?
No, I don't know what Air One is.
Honey. Okay, Air One is... Okay, you need to come to Los
I'm
Angeles.
in Canada.
Okay?
Kyle.
Okay, get it together.
I don't know if Air
You
One.
need to know, okay?
I don't even.
Okay.
I don't.
Okay,
We
Air
can't. We
One
can't even
is
get
this
road.
new-
We can't get road. We don't have any access to her skincare. So I'm not.
And her husband's Canadian?
Yes, we can't get road. I wanted to try her
Shady.
glossy
Shady.
glaze stick, and we can't get it. Anyways, no. Okay, so go on.
Shady. Okay, so Air One is this extremely, extremely overpriced smoothie. Okay? And if you were doing your real research on Miss Gypsy Rose Blanchard herself, she went to Air One and got the Hailey Bieber smoothie.
Did she like it?
She did. She did. But okay, here's the thing about Air One, okay? So you go in and it's just like influencers, it's like you see a lot of the celebrities, you see everyone just trying to pretend like they're rich and shop there, but literally like a carton of grapes is like $25.
Oh my God, no.
Okay? The Hailey Bieber smoothie is over $20.
Shut up. What's in it?
Like sea moss and all sorts of things, okay? And it's really good, actually. And I would never pay for it. Okay, never would pay for it. But I have some clients that, you know, like they're like, when they come to the salon, like it's like their day away from the kids and the family. And they're like, we're going into the city. We're going to get some Hailey Bieber smoothies. Mm-hmm. And because like my clients are in my chair for like 4 or 5 hours because she does a lot. So, yeah, they're like, so I've had it a few times because of that, but it's like this huge craze, and everyone, when they come to LA, they have to get the Hailey Bieber smoothie. And who else did they give? They gave one to somebody else recently, and I can't remember.
Like, I understand the whole, okay, I'm not with the kids, and all the, like, we'll be experiencing some of that when I'm in LA in next Friday.
Yeah.
1 week today. But I don't think I could justify spending over $25, which would equate to more than like $30 Canadian for blended fruit. I couldn't.
Yeah. Mm-mm. Yeah. Well, save your coins and we'll split one. We'll put our money together and we'll split one. Okay? We're going to start a GoFundMe.
It better be like the freaking actual fountain of youth. If I'm spending $30 for blended fruit, I better instantly see some sort of like result. I'm serious. I'm actually dead serious. I better look like 5 years younger after that smoothie, or I'll be pissed off.
Your skin better be glowing.
I know. Seriously.
Yes. I love the way we even talked about this. But yeah, so she's pregnant. Did you see the photos of her? She had a little like white like thing over her. Like she had a little. It was like lace like over her head, and she was like grabbing her belly and
embracing it. I love it. I think maternity shots. I think pregnant women are the most beautiful women. I love it. I thought she just looked stunning. Did you like it? I feel like you don't like it.
No, I liked it. It was just like the outfit choices. I was like, oh, okay. I can't wait to see the professional photos. Do you know what I mean? Because I think what we saw was behind the scenes of them taking the photos. Yeah. And so I need to see the actual photos. But, you know, I stan. I actually one time, like, briefly met her.
Okay.
Like, yeah. And she was nice. You know what I mean? Like, but she had no reason to not be nice. But yeah, so we're gonna have a little belieber.
A little belieber.
Aww.
I think Justin Bieber would be the cutest girl dad. Like, Justin Bieber is having a baby before me. I actually felt this too when Justin Bieber got married. I think because I equate him in my mind as my like little niece's like big childhood crush, and I'm like, whoa, okay, so he got married before me. Now he's popping one out before me. Like, I feel old, and it's just, like, I feel a bit uncomfortable, but it's fine.
Yeah. And I forget how long they've actually been married. Like, you know, because there's all those rumors of, like, they were, like, it was, like, an arranged marriage to that, like, church that they're all a part of and, like, whatever. But, like, at this point, you know, they've been together for a while. Like, it's been a while.
Well, I just want to add, I find it really funny when they're, like, you know, oh, Hailey Bieber and Justin walking through the crowd or whatever, not holding hands, like something's wrong, or they look like they're it's like, no, that's marriage. That's just a marriage. There are some days where, like, honest to God, I love my husband, but, like, don't touch me right now. I'm annoyed with you. No. And I think that just makes them a real, raw, married couple. You're not... If you're telling me, if you're always holding hands, if you're always doing the most and looking lovely and happy in public every single time, I don't believe it. I don't believe it.
No, you're faking it. Mm-hmm. You're putting on a show. Mm-hmm. You're putting on a show, and something dark is going on in your household. I'm calling you out. No, I'm just kidding.
What else we got? What else? I need more tea.
Okay, what else is going on? Okay, this is like the same girls, but Bella Hadid is taking a step back or like quitting or whatever modeling.
The doors have
Have
opened
you
up
heard
for
about
me.
this?
I feel like
Yes.
it's my time to shine. No, you know what? I think that that's a really bold move in the best way. Because
Yeah.
as
So
someone who's been modeling now for like years, you know, for me, it still fulfills me, especially now that I'm a stepmom and a wife. Like, I appreciate the modeling more because it's like my own thing I get to do. I'm the one that's getting pampered on set. It's a whole thing, right? And I
yeah.
genuinely love it. It's my own thing that I get to do. But I also see, and before the pandemic, I was getting to the point where it was like it burns you out. And sometimes it's not always as fulfilling. And there are so many sides to modeling behind the scenes that, you know, I see could really just like wear a person out and just send you to the country to want to live on a farm and find your own fulfillment.
Yes. Yeah. And that's the thing is she got her cowboy. And I think her mom got her cowboy too.
Giddy up, bitches.
Yeah. No, so this is what Bella said. She said, after 10 years of modeling, I realized I was putting so much energy and love and effort into something that wasn't necessarily giving it back to me, is what she said. And I get that. I get that. I have felt that. I feel that in my soul. Like there's, stuff beats you down. And as you get older, like your priorities shift. As you go through different traumas and different things like that, your priorities shift around you. And I will say this is okay. So this is a really crazy, because I felt this story. This is the reason we're talking about it, because one, my career took off because of Bella.
Yeah.
Well, again, I had some moments when I was really young where my career like launched into like chaos and like a lot of happened. And then when I got the call to do a photo shoot, and I actually did Bella Hadid's first ever photo shoot that she did. She was 17 years old. She was about to be 18. It was on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. It was filmed. And, it was the images she used when she first started modeling. I did all the hair for them.
That's incredible.
And it changed my life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it was also a time when her career was kind of changing. So I feel this like connection to her, and she was just such a sweet girl. And a lot of people give like the mom a lot of hard time about like forcing the model and things like that. But the mom she was so nice to me. And, she took time to learn she wanted to hear about where I was from, like in a small town in Ohio. And Bella was interested too, so they were like down with the country lifestyle back then, And so I want to say that, like, I think it was actually like me telling her stories about my hometown is the reason that she's ran off with this cowboy. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
you
so
inspired her.
I'm responsible.
At the end of the day,
yeah.
Something that you said to her that day on set is clearly what has just been like, oh, wait, hold on. That's right. That story about that small town and the small town living. Yes. Shit sits inside you and you don't even realize and remember that it's there. Maybe she listened to our podcast and got like re-inspired or something. You never know.
Well, why wouldn't she listen to Blonde Highlights? I mean, duh. Like, no, but also, like, I've talked about this on the podcast. Like, I've like, my life right now is a struggle with figuring out life with chronic health issues, And after experiencing this chronic health issues in my life, my whole life has changed. My priorities in every single way have changed. And I feel that. You know what I mean? If I had the ability to have some sort of a career and like the finances to live like that, I would be off finding a cowboy too. You know what I mean? Like I would already have my alpaca farm.
Yes.
Okay. I would already have my fiber farm, and we're like making yarn, and we're going to make sustainable organic clothing out of like this yarn that we're making. And, Kris is going to come visit the farm.
I'll model the clothing.
That's what I would do. Do you know what I mean? But I'm just saying, like, you get so caught up in the city, and I'm going to serve this, like, all this kind of stuff. But then like priorities completely change when your life becomes about figuring how to live with chronic health issues, you know? And you do have to be almost like selfish with like your own time and your own energy that you have left.
Yeah.
And I can see how like that really would affect her in that way. And the same thing happened with her mom earlier. You know what I mean? Like after her mom was dealing with Lyme disease and then like her husband left her for Catherine McPhee, that's like, you know, whatever. But like she moved to Pennsylvania and has a farm. Mm-hmm. And then I see photos of her with some like country man.
Well, that's just it. Like, you know, the older you get and the life experiences that you face, your priorities are going to shift in ways. Like I said, like, do I want to live on a farm and have all my Frenchies and do whatever? Like, yeah, I want to do that. But, like, my priority is still, for me, is still having things that are just solely for me and, you know, sort of pushing myself to do things and take risks and take chances. And, you know, am I chasing my career the way that I was pre-pandemic and pre-marriage and whatever? No, I'm not. I'm genuinely not. However, like I said, there's that appreciation for it because it's something that, like, I get to do that's for me because all of my priorities in life and everything that I've done has shifted to my now married, acquired family. So,
yeah.
But I think that it's so good that at her status and her level that she's able to just be like, no, I don't want to do this. It hasn't served me. I mean, I feel like financially and everything that has obviously served her, but that can only get you honestly so far in life. You know what I mean? Like, I think that this should just be a reminder that, like, it can't buy you all the happiness, because if you're Bella Hadid and you're ready to quit modeling to, like, go live on a farm because, like, you're just not feeling it, that's inspiring to me, and that's a true reminder. Just be grateful for what you have and do the things that make you happy and fulfilled on the inside. You know?
Yeah.
Like,
I honestly think that more millennials are going to end up doing stuff like this because, like, we've just lived, like, millennials have lived a hard life. You know what I mean? Like, we have came up in some crazy.
So we just got zapped, I guess, by, what did you call that big zap, Kyle?
It was like an electromagnetic storm.
Yes, completely zapped our whole system. Our recording studio bumped us out like 3 times during this recording last week, as well as my phone backed me out and didn't let me record. I had to delete like 500 videos, which I probably didn't need to, but whatever. So if you're watching us on YouTube or you see our video clip, I've had a complete wardrobe change. I have new highlights, like full on change. But let's recap to what we were going through, because we didn't want to restart our episode because we were like, this is just so good. We can't recreate this. So Kyle, lead the way.
Yes. So basically where we left off was I was talking about Bella Hadid, and I was saying how millennials, I feel like, because we've been through so much shit, that as we age, we're going to, like, seek a more simpler lifestyle like her and her mom have. Like, you know, we're going to go find our cowboy.
100%. Or a chef, and you can marry a chef and end up in the suburbs. Okay, let's get on to...
I'm looking for an alpaca farmer.
Yeah, let's get on to our questions. So we have Anonymous from Toronto. And honestly, like, I think this is our third anonymous person, and I kind of like it because it just makes it feel very secretive, and we have a very trusting thing going on with our listeners. Like, I like it. It adds a little element. But anyways, their question is, I'm transitioning into a female and haven't told my parents. Any advice? So Kyle, I'm gonna let you lead that.
Why? Why me?
Stop. Just go.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I am your resident trans podcast host. Here's what I would say, Anonymous, is that if you're going to transition, just know that everything takes time, okay? And you also, I'm sure that you are 100% sure if you've got this far, but make sure you're 100% sure. And I also would say you got to get to a point where you don't give a F what anyone thinks, including your family, okay? But if your family is going to possibly kick you out, if you still live with them or you're still financially connected to them, make sure you consider that, and get yourself to a place where you can be your authentic self without serious consequences like that. And I think, you can't really care about what your parents think, and I hope that they're accepting and it's cool. But when I transitioned, I had to mentally get to a place where I did not give an F what anyone thought, and my parents are very accepting of everything, and it was still very, very scary for me, but I was in a place where I am 100% financially independent. I have housing and I have employment. I'm self-employed, and these are all things that like trans women face issues with, and so make sure all your T's are crossed and your I's are dotted, whatever that saying is. Make sure every your ducks are in a row before, you know what I mean. There's a lot of planning that goes involved, and I hope to God that your parents are accepting, but make sure you set yourself up for success, you know what I mean? Because you don't want to end up on the streets. The streets are a dangerous place for trans girls, and there's way too many of us, putting ourselves in dangerous situations to survive. So make sure you have all your shit together first, Also, start getting laser hair removal as soon as you can.
Yeah?
Yeah. Kris was the first person I told that I was transitioning. Mm-hmm. We were at a pool in Palm Springs, and I'm like, so...
Yeah, what was that hotel with, the Segordia or the Sangria Hotel or something? The
Sagaro, like the Cactus Sagaro.
Yes, and we were there, and Kyle, swam up. We were just chilling in the pool. This was a really fun road trip we went on. And I remember when you told me, and I was like, yes, this makes sense. Do it. And I remember you were a little nervous, but you were very confident in your decision.
It was years in the making, and I was 1,000% sure, and I started doing laser hair removal. I started seeing a few doctors and, doing different things. And then I did not tell a month or so before, I told one other person, but that was it. And then it was literally in December, and I told my family after I was already taking hormones. And I was like, so this is happening. You know what I mean? To my parents. And then I sent a group text out to my siblings. And I was like, literally the group text was like, if you want to disown me, I don't give a F. I was like, fuck y'all. And I was ready to and then I posted on Instagram a week before Christmas. And I was like, so this is what's happening. And, I moved on from there. And I just never looked back after that. But I was in a serious place where, and this is one thing I will say, it's the biggest life altering lesson I've ever learned. It changed my life forever in a positive way, is that I've already done the worst thing you could do in society. Not that that's the worst thing, but you know what I mean? It's so controversial. I was like, why would I care what anyone else thinks of me in any other way? Do you know what I mean? It really opened me up as if I don't care. You know what I mean? What are you going to judge me for? I don't care, and that was it. I lost my last fuck to give the day that I came out as trans,
Well, and I think that there's just something to be said about owning your truth. You're obviously doing something that's, controversial still for whatever reason, but it's also one of those things where it's you're finally owning your truth. You're confident now in who you are. You're stepping in to what you were meant to be. And I think when that happens, that also causes a shift in your brain, your mindset, your confidence, everything. So I think you've given really great advice. I mean, I'm not really going to say anything because I haven't experienced this. But I will say that just make sure that you do have some sort of support. Like, make sure that you have someone in case maybe your family backfires on you, or, you know, other people that you're telling turn on you. Make sure that you do have at least one support system, like one person to be in your crowd. So
Yeah.
even, you know, thankfully Kyle's family was very supportive and has a great community around her. If that didn't happen, then at least you had me to fall back on. And I could have carried you through.
Yeah. Yeah. And, yeah. And, I told myself that I would refuse to feel shame about it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one thing that I've held a promise to myself is I have never felt shame about about what I have done and what I am and anything like that. Because if you have some internalized shame, it's going to come out, because I don't care where you are, how great your situation is, you're going to get hate.
Mm-hmm.
Some crazy things have happened to me since then, but I refuse to feel the shame that people throw onto me. I wash it right off of me, and I don't open the question as this is not a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you, this is not a back and forth conversation. You know what I mean? And refuse to feel shame about it, and you'll be fine,
Okay, what's our...
But it was funny. Hold on, I want to say one more thing about this. What's funny is that, like, like, maybe it was the first or maybe the second time I visited my family afterwards. I had 7 nieces and nephews and a 3.5-year-old brother. And my niece, who was probably like 5 at the time, she comes up to me and afterwards, and because obviously she doesn't know what's going on. We never had a talk with her, but it was just like all of a sudden, I'm Aunt Kyle. And she was so young, But one day, no one else was around. She came up to me and I was wearing my glasses. And she's like, Aunt Kyle? And I was like, yeah. And she's like, you look like a man with your glasses on.
Oh my God, stop.
And I laughed so hard. She was like, I just want to let you know, girl.
Okay, so we're not wearing these anymore, I guess.
I think about it every time I put them on now. It's like shots fired by my 5-year-old niece.
Oh my God, kids are so honest. Honestly, I
know.
It's so funny. I went out and I had pimple patches on my face, and Sterling was like, Choo Choo. That's what they call me. What is on your face? And I said, it's just for my pimple. And he's like, you're leaving the house like that? Like, that's how he talks. And I'm like, yes. He's like, you look ridiculous. And I was like, oh my God, like, shoot me down, would you? All right, let's get into our highlights and lowlights of our listeners. So what do we got?
Highlights and lowlights.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so we have Gabby from Toronto, and she wrote in and said her highlight is, I just booked a trip for this summer to Santorini and Mykonos. Hell yeah, girl.
I'm jelly. Honestly, Gabby, if you need a travel companion for this trip, just hit me up. I'll go. I've always wanted to go. I know you've had your time in Greece.
Yeah, we're entertaining. Take us along with you. Yeah. I've never been to Santorini, but I've been to Mykonos like 3 times, I think.
Oh my God. Your Mykonos stories?
Oh my God. My Mykonos stories are crazy. She becomes a different human being in Mykonos.
I remember.
She's a rock star there.
I remember you coming home from Mykonos when we both lived in LA, and I took one look at you and I was like, what the fuck happened in Mykonos? And you were like, girl, it was a rager the whole time in Mykonos. I was like, yeah, I can tell.
Yeah, I definitely got searched like crazy going through TSA leaving. Like, they were like, this crackhead.
Okay, give me your wildest story. Like, why was Mykonos wild? Like, give me your wildest... Wild thoughts.
Well, it's just a party. It's just party, 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 party. You know, like, and that's the thing. Be careful with Mykonos because it's a rager. Like, everything about it is a rager. But I do like the daytime. Get a water taxi to the beaches because it's like a free little yacht experience, you know? One of my favorite things that I ever happened there was my birthday. I was on a water taxi and I was going to I was like beach hopping and I was having drinks and whatever. And I was by myself. And then, so on the way back, I realized that my boat that I was on wasn't going to Paraga Beach where I needed to go. And so I told the captain, I was like, hey, you know, like, is this not going to Paraga Beach? And he was like, no. He's like, hold on a second. And he starts yelling at this other boat out in the ocean that like just to pick me up. So, and they were yelling in Greek. So anyways, this other boat pulls up next to the boat that I'm on and they're like, jump. So I grabbed my bag and I just leaped from one boat to the other boat.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
How close did they pull up?
Pretty close. But it was just so, I was like, I'm alive. Like, I'm out here in the Mediterranean hopping boats and like, it was such risky. A fun moment.
I honestly, okay, so when I was in Italy or just any time, I'm thinking of like a gondola ride. But anytime I get into like a boat and it's rocking and there's any type of movement, I am terrified. I feel like I'm going to flip right in. So if that was me, I would have died. I would have been like, you want me to jump boat to boat in front of how many people and make it like, how close were the boats? I need to know that. Like, how close were they?
They were like a couple feet apart.
Okay. How big were the boats?
They were pretty close.
How big were the boats, though?
They're like a fishing boat.
Ew! That like would have been rocking. Was the whole thing rocking when you were jumping?
Yeah, it was very rocky. Yeah, you could maybe fit like 15 people on the boat. You know, It's a small boat, but it's also not like tiny. But I will tell you this, okay? If you have a layover in Athens, be careful because I had a layover in Athens once and I climbed up to the Parthenon and took a tour of that and I came back down and there was this little area that was like Times Square, Hollywood Boulevard, and I was just like finding a little bar to stop in and have a little beer. And I go into this place and this guy was like, oh, come in here. But everyone was saying, come in. I go into the bar with the guy disappears, the door closes behind me. I got locked into this bar and long story short, it was a brothel and this is a scam they run all the time. And so basically I was held in this bar until I gave crazy amount of money to these prostitutes.
Oh my God.
It was one of the scariest things that's ever happened to me. I literally had one beer. I ordered the beer because I was thinking at least it's like I can see them opening it. And my tab was like over 200 euros afterwards. And basically that money went to the, prostitutes that run the scam that's going on. I looked it up on like Yelp afterwards and it's something that happens all the time.
Oh my God. It's so scary, especially when you're
traveling I was just so low-key about that.
Yeah, like, it's just like, oh yeah, just locked in a bar. No, be careful traveling on your own, Gabby. That's what I would say. It's like the instinct in me to tell you that. Like, traveling alone is fun. Well, I don't know if she's traveling alone, but if you are traveling alone, just be careful.
No, we don't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't want you to get locked in a bar. Do you know I was almost kidnapped when I was traveling alone? Here's another. It's like I'm so.
You told me about this.
Yeah, like I'm so jealous that you're traveling to Mykonos, or Greece. I need to just like ruin your experience. So, I was traveling in London and I was there for modeling, and I was taking a late train back to my flat. Okay, and I was in this random neighborhood. That's where I was staying. So, anyways, I get on this train.
Yeah,
and this gentleman at the next stop jumps on, and there are empty seats all around me, and he decides to sit right directly in front of me, and he just looks like someone who would be from the movie Taken. Like, he just gives that vibe, right? So instantly I'm like, okay. So he starts talking to me. And I'm like, just keeping it very casual and just, whatever. At that time, I'm using a old like Nokia cell phone because I couldn't get, a plan for my iPhone that I had. So when I was out and about, I just had like this like little dinky cell phone. So anyways, I get off at the next stop and he gets off and I'm walking and at this point I'm not really feeling him behind me. And when you're in London and you're riding the trains, like sometimes you have to go like up the stairwells, cross over a bridge, go down, get to the other one. And as I'm going through, I feel him pick up my bag because I have my little rolly bag with me. And I'm just like, okay. And he carries it up the stairs with me, gets back on the train and sits in front of me. And now I know I'm like, something's wrong here. Like, this is bad. Like, I'm now in survival mode. And my first initial thought is just like, start screaming, freak out, but there's nobody in the cart. So I pick up my phone and I pretend to like text, and I was just like, oh, it just came over me. I was like, oh, it's so cold. I was like, my poor dad and brother, they're waiting for me at the stop, and they don't have any jackets. Like, I feel so bad for them. It's so cold tonight. And then he reiterated that to me. He was like, oh, so your dad and brother are waiting for you. And I'm like, yeah, they're at the stop to pick me up. The next stop, he jumps up. He goes to like the door, and as it's sliding open, he looks back at me and he's just like, I'll never forget it. He was like, you better be careful riding these trains, or one day you'll get on and you'll never be seen again. And then just like get off, like just ran off into the night. And I didn't have a dad and brother picking me up at the stop. So now I'm like terrified. So yeah, that's my story of how, I don't know how we took Gabby's excitement of booking a trip to Greece to being like, girl, I was locked in a bar one time. I was almost kidnapped.
But you know what? We're teaching lessons. You know, right there, the advice that you gave to say that your dad and your brother are waiting at the next stop. Yeah, that is key. Like, that's stuff you got to do. You know what I mean?
Never let people think you're fully alone. Seriously. Okay, let's move on to our low light.
But you know what's crazy is, okay, something like that happened to some girl that I know who lives in LA, and when she was in London, and it was a crazy thing. Like, the police had to get involved, and the police literally were like, "We're on this case," but they put her up in a hotel for the night, stood outside her door, and they put her on a flight out of the UK the first flight the next morning.
Oh my God, scary.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a kind of weird, similar situation, but like,
I didn't have any help.
Kind of.
I didn't have any support. So let's go to the low light. I feel like we've turned her highlight into a low light. Sorry,
you know what, we're just educating the girls.
Sorry.
You know. Sorry. Have fun.
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, Mykonos is like the best place on earth if you like to party. So the low light is from Sarah from Santa Monica, and she says, I had to break up with my boyfriend I loved because we brought out the worst in each other.
That sucks.
Yeah. This happened to me once. I think about it like the guy who got away, the guy that I like, that the only person I can date that I think, like, I look back and I'm like, wow, I really, really, really love that person and I really wanted to be with them. But, like, we were, like, alcoholics together and would do crazy stuff, and it was bad. It was all bad news.
But those ones always feel so good, though. I know that's so bad to say.
I know.
I know. Look.
You made the right decision, but I hope you had some fun with it, you know?
Yeah.
Hope you had some fun in the meantime.
I mean, that's what it is, right? Like, there's always that fun guy that I feel comes along and it's just fun and you do things, but you're not the best version. It is the worst side of you. I mean, I've definitely been in a relationship where this guy brought out the worst side of me. However, I wasn't that in love with him. So I can't really be like,
Yeah.
oh, it was the love of my life and he brought out the worst side. I was like, nah, I didn't even really like him. I still to this day don't even 100% understand why I was with him, but whatever. But he brought out the side in me, and it was a very meek side. It was a very submissive side, but then it was also a very angry side. So it was like a really weird mix of like, I don't know, maybe just emotional abuse gone, I'm going to stand up for myself. I don't know, but it was an awful place to live. And when I tell you that him and I would fight so bad, our fights were so bad, not aggressive, like he didn't abuse me, but he was very verbally abusive to me. And I remember I was living about 45 minutes away from where I was working at the time, part-time, and I had to work the next day. And he was so rude to me the one night. And I literally got in my car at like 10 o'clock at night, drove to a hotel near the place that I was working at, and slept in my car. Like, I packed a blanket, I packed all my stuff. I didn't want to go to my mom. I didn't want to go to anybody because I didn't want them to know that there were problems in my relationship and whatever. And I slept in my car, and I went to work the next day, and he worked there. And he showed up the next day and acted like nothing happened. And I was like, this is so messed up. I was out of the house like a couple weeks later, but I was doing things that I knew. I was like, this is not right. Like, I should not be hiding all of this from my family. I shouldn't be risking my life sleeping in a car in a hotel parking lot because I don't have anything to go in and get a hotel room right now. And it wasn't even worth it. You know, like, at least you and your guy, it was like worth it. You know, you had a good time.
Yeah, and I wonder now, like, I don't know, literally a whole different person than then, but yeah, we were alcoholics together and did wild stuff, and like, one time, literally, I got so blacked out with him one night, and I forgot my address where I lived, and this is before, like, you had to put your address in with the Uber before.
Yeah.
And, like, we just got dropped off downtown somewhere because I was like, I don't know where I live. And then we had to figure it out. And then I got there. But then I had to do hair for the American Music Awards the next day. And I'm literally, like, on the red carpet, hungover in a T-shirt. Like, and I'm like, this is a no.
Yes.
We cannot continue this pattern.
No. You need to be with someone that's going to push you, and obviously it's not going to be perfect. Like, I'm not trying to sit here and act like I have a perfect marriage. I don't. But I do have a husband who is supportive and pushes me to get my goals and reach the things that I want to do, and vice versa. Because that's what it should be. It should be a collaborative thing where it's like, you have your goals. What can I do to help you with your goals? What can I do? And sometimes you got to put each other in your place. Like, look, you're kind of being like this right now, and kind of give you a check, or, hey, like, I noticed that you haven't been doing this, but it's in a positive way, you know? So. Yeah. But I think that's time for us. We are.
Totally. And you'll probably Yeah. Yeah. We gotta go, girl.
Okay, we gotta go. I think that's time for us.
Okay, bye.
Bye.